Now, this video assumes that you have already installed a jib. If not, look at my video on tips and tricks to go faster. There you will find comprehensive measurements and the details regarding attaching your jib. Now, for those of you who have installed a jib, you also would have installed the spreader bar. Well, today I'm going to show you how to reinforce the spreader bar and also put a furler onto your jib to make life a little easier out on the water. But firstly, some hints on how to strengthen this spreader bar. Now, you probably noticed when you got your bar that it had right in the middle there was a point to attach your jib. Don't attach your jib here, attach it as I've shown in my previous video, or in one of my videos in how to install a jib, but I'll just run quickly through that to just show you what you do. Hobie must source their spreader bar aluminium from a place that makes it specifically to a certain size, so it's going to be quite hard to find pieces of round aluminium that'll go exactly over the bar or exactly in the bar to make it stronger. So I'll show you what you can do. Now, I've just got here a piece of aluminium which is about the same diameter as the Hobie spreader bar, and I'll show you how you can get this into the bar and just make it a bit stronger on the ends where it attaches to your boat. So just get a piece of aluminium. Now just use an angle grinder to cut out 2 slots out of your aluminium, a bit like that. Okay, and now what we're going to do is we're going to bang that into the end of your spreader bar. Now, it may be a bit hard to get it in the end, so what you want to do is just bang the end with the hammer. Might be a bit hard to get into the spreader bar, so just bang the end with the hammer until you can. So it's nice and tight, and now we're just going to hit that with a hammer and get it into the spreader bar. If you can't get it all the way in, it doesn't matter. Now, whatever's left over on the end, just cut it off. Now what we're going to do is to hit that a bit further in, down to about here, so we can put in the end cap. Once you've tapped your piece of aluminium level with the top of the bar, just go to your toolbox and get out the extension socket piece like this. Just get it on the edge and just tap it gently with the hammer. Keep tapping until you get it down far enough so you can pop in the end piece. You want to make sure you can get that piece in. So now we have an end piece which is extremely strong. Now I'll show you how to strengthen the rest of the bar. You are strengthening the bar because of the way you're going to install your jib with the furler as shown later, and also because of how you can use the bar to move your boat around. Now there's 2 ways you can strengthen the spreader bar. You've got your end bits now which are much stronger. Now you can put a sleeve on the outside. Now you can use either aluminium. This looks a bit gnarly because it's covered with tape to make it easier on my hands, but just a piece of aluminium, the full length of the bar if you want to, just slides over the bar like that, or you can use PVC pipe. Again, this is probably a cheaper way to go, but again that just slides over the end or the full length of your bar like that. Now one of the reasons for, well there's a couple of reasons for doing this. Firstly, when you're manoeuvring your boat onto the trailer, you're going to lift with this bar. Secondly, it's a way of moving your boat around on the beach. Don't move the bar from the middle, because that's going to be its weakest point. Move from either end, where it's nice and strong here, or over this end. And the other reason for having this on your spreader bar is if you've looked at my tips on how to get your boat on and off the trailer, you notice that I use the spreader bar to get the boat onto the trailer and off the trailer. So I lift the boat with the spreader bar, and then I just rest the spreader bar on the sail box. Also, when you're getting your boat off of the trailer, the boat will go off the back rollers, and then it'll drop down with some force actually onto the spreader bar. So you want to make sure that you've got something on your sail box. I'll show you what I've got on my sail box. So as your boat drops off the back of your trailer, this bar will drop on the back on here, and I've got some pieces of rubber here to protect the bar and also to absorb some of the shock. So as it rolls off the rollers, it drops down into here and then onto the ground. Spreader bar back on here to just show you a few things. So normally you would have your jib mounted just here, but if you've looked at my other video on how to install a jib, you'll see that I've got two more stays. Now, just to make this very clear, you're not going to use any part of the original rigging on your boat. You're going to attach a new mast hound or attachment, as I'll show you in the video later, to the top of your mast, just down from where your current attachment is, because now you're going to be using a furler. So leave your original rigging where it is. So now you're going to be attaching a swivel at the top of your mast, a mast furler at the base of your sail, and attach it to the front of your boat whilst leaving your original rigging in place. Here's the furler, which I'm going to show you how to install later. But I had these extra stays made. These are around about 88 centimetres long. They normally would have gone in here, but I thought that rather than have too much pressure on this, I now have another eyelet, or just a shackle really, going through the front of the hull. This has been here now for about a year and has held up my jib quite admirably. This is in this funny arrangement at the moment because normally this is 88 centimetres long. Having installed a furler, I've had to make this shorter. But normally you just attach your extra stay for your jib in here. Now here's the furler for the jib. Because this takes up a bit of space at the front of the front forestay, this is why I've had to reduce the length of these two front forestays. Later on I'll get these cut so that this comes over to here. But yeah,
Here's the furler, and here's how it attached. This is a fairly common furler that you get for a jib. It will come without this little stainless steel piece on the bottom. I'd advise you to get something like that, because all you're going to get is a bottom, which I'm not quite sure how you'd attach anything to that without putting that piece of stainless steel piece there. And of course the top part, you've got a nice part here that you can attach your jib to. It'll also come without some rope. I've just used starter cord for like whippersnippers or lawnmowers. Okay, and that's fairly obvious how you get that in there. If you're not quite sure how to get that in there or to get it started, drop me a line and I'll show you. I'll give you a demo of that. Now, where the jib attaches up the top of the mast, it would normally get attached in here. I'll show you this close up. This jib would normally get attached in here at the mast hound. Now, because it has to rotate, when the jib rotates, it tends to get caught up in these three other stays. So there's your side stay, there's another, there's the front forestay, and there's the other side stay. And it tends to get caught up in these stays as it swivels. So what I've done is I've installed another hound. There's the original one. There's another one just in front, which has allowed me to allow this swivel, when it goes up, to be here and not here. So being down here, it can actually swivel quite easily without hitting any of the stays, and you can easily furl your sail. Again, I'll show you that on the beach and how it's all rigged up. If you don't want to get a hound like this and bore holes in your mast, you could just get a piece of rope and thread it through here and bring it down to here and tie it through this little pulley here. So I've got my pulley going through a hound. You could just attach a piece of rope and bring it down that way. As long as you've got a distance of about 6 inches between your main stays and the mechanism for your jib. So it allows your furler to furl properly. Now, just one other piece of equipment that you'll need for your jib is this little device here. This allows you to feed your jib rope through and takes it back onto your deck so that you've got access to it. It's just a little metal cleat, so when you've got your jib out as far as you want, you can just let it sit there, or if you're going to furl it, you can pull it in and then just pull it up in that cleat. I also find it's really good when you're coming into the beach to be able to furl your jib so you can get it up out of the way. Makes it easier, it takes the wind out of your, if you can release your mainsail, you've got no jib up, and that stops the wind from making it harder to get your boat up onto the beach or to turn it around to relaunch again. Okay, so that's just one other piece. So you need your jib, your furler, and this little piece here, this part here. I think the guy in the chandlery called it a fork, but
having the front stay behind the bar means that the sail and its furling mechanism is kept away from the two front forestays that are the original part of the boat. You can attach your halyard to your swivel with a clip like so. This makes it easy to release
at the end of the day. Where possible, I try to avoid shackles, as it means undoing things at the end of the day, often when your fingers are cold and wet. But this clip allows you to easily attach the top of your jib to your halyard line and will not come loose. It sort of goes without saying that you'll notice that the clips that you used to have on the front of your sail to hold the front of your sail up to your front forestay have had to be removed to allow the sail to rotate. Now, with your sail unclipped from your forward forestay, you're going to have extra pressure on your halyard line, and I'll show you how to do this. On your boat you've probably already got a cleat in place. Well, I'll show you how you can utilise that and install another cleat if you have to. But anyway, firstly, get your halyard line and tie a loop in your halyard line. Pull your halyard line down past your cleat, up through the loop, and then down through the cam cleat and pull it down tight. That'll give you a 2-to-1 purchase on your halyard line and get it nice and tight. If you have 2 cam cleats, then I'll show you in the video how it's even easier to apply pressure to your halyard line. There's nothing worse at the end of the day when taking your sail down, only to have your halyard line come loose halfway down and then be flapping in the breeze up in the air, and then your sail just all flops down on the deck. Well, I want to show you a way that you can get your sail down and keep it nice and tight. You get your halyard line and put it under your arm, and then bring your arm down and keep it tight under your arm. Then you can grab your sail and roll it up. Squeeze your arm against the side of your chest to keep it tight, and then roll it down. Well, that's enough of me from the men's shed. Hope you have fun on your Hobie Wave.